All right, YouTube. Once again, my mic was muted. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. We're talking Auburn football. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. This is the recap of Auburn versus Georgia. I got a couple of takeaways from this particular football game that I want to talk about. Auburn loses this game 27-6 to what I always thought was a very good good Georgia football team. A lot of folks talked about the quarterback situation with Georgia and saying, Auburn. I thought that kind of gave Auburn a advantage to a certain extent. But we got to look at this thing for what it is. ZS says it's time for Gus to go. No sugarcoating. Okay, I can kind of halfway respect that, but no. Gus does not need to go. Auburn needs to continue to recruit. This particular football game is a 101 of recruiting. Eric Randall, no. Bo Nix does not need to be benched. That's just my honest opinion. Nope. We are not trash. We just played against a good football team. So let's rewind this back. All the way back for the past few years. Auburn has just really started to recruit. That's why I have 3 takeaways from this particular football game. Auburn has really just started to recruit on a level that they can kind of halfway compete. When people were talking about, okay, Georgia would lose to Auburn, 31-0 and all these other predictions over the past few weeks, I was like, do you guys follow the recruiting? These guys have recruited at a top 3 or 5 or whatever recruiting ranking over the last few years. You can't count Georgia out. They have recruited really well on both sides of the football field over the past few years. So when I did my prediction show a couple of days ago, it might have been yesterday, I projected that Georgia would beat Auburn 24-21. Turns out Auburn lost the game 27-6. So, NAW Williams 6 says we have recruited in the top 10 over the last 6 years. I'm going to dissect that in a second. So there's a couple of takeaways from this particular football game. Number one, Auburn has to recruit better along the offensive line. The offensive line did absolutely nothing to give Auburn a chance to win this particular football game, which I think is unfortunate. Number two, you got a dog. And I'm not saying this in Georgia Bulldogs, but you got a dog in Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby is going to be the man. This guy put it all on the line. He gave Auburn every opportunity to stretch drives and things of that nature. The dude out of the country town of Hogansville, Georgia, really represented in this game. You got to give a shout out. To Tank Bigsby. For the second year in a row, here's my second take. For the second year in a row, even with Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown, the Georgia offensive line really, really, really dominated up front. Y'all don't want to agree with this, but the offensive line manhandled Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson last year. Alabama's offensive line dominated Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown and the rest of the company last year. So, no. See, everybody wants to fire Gus. Why you want to fire Gus? Who else are you going to get? Who else are you going to get that's going to compete in the SEC on a year in and year out basis and really shine? That's why I'm kind of disappointed in y'all, man. Yo, Malcolm, this is what you just watched. What you watched was recruiting in action. You watch recruiting in action. Georgia beat Auburn with a walk-on quarterback, right? That's what everybody's going to see. They're going to say, okay, damn, Auburn sucks because they got beat with a walk-on quarterback. But what you don't know is between the trenches, though. The offensive line got dominated. The defensive line. Let's go back to how this game went. Okay, I want somebody in the comment section to tell me how many times was it that on first down, Auburn allowed like 6 yards on first down. Okay. No, sir. Brian Hughes, I'm absolutely not getting paid to say this stuff. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Auburn got dominated on first down. First down and 10. Guess what? It's second down and 3 for Georgia. Recruiting does fall on the coaching staff, does it not? But hey, when you just, okay, so I'm not going to give Gus a pass on this. I'm really not. I'm really absolutely not. But what I'm talking about in the last 3 years, this has been, Auburn is finally kind of sort of halfway caught up with recruiting. No, it's not. See, that's the thing. You all think it's time for a new coach. It's time for Auburn to continue the trend of recruiting. If you start this trend, say 5 years ago, then yeah, we don't even have this game the way it turned out. But recruiting is the key. That's the number one takeaway from this particular game. And all y'all got mad at me. It was a couple of guys that got mad at me and said, man, how can you pick Georgia to beat Auburn? Easy. I can pick it easy. I can pick it absolutely easy. Georgia has had top 3 recruiting classes over the last 5 years. Hell, I could have played quarterback. I haven't played football in 20 years. I could have played quarterback and beat Auburn. So until you guys be honest about where Auburn is in the recruiting rankings, it is what it is. Okay, so it has been time for a new coach. Gus coaches like a coward. He's scared. Tell me how he's scared. I just want to know. We need a better O-line. It would not matter. Hey, look here. Now, if you all have been following this, our offensive line recruiting has absolutely sucked. We're piecing together an offensive line that absolutely sucks. For low end 4 stars, maybe. It is what it is. Bo Nix, just like Crimson Brave says, Bo Nix was running for his life the entire game. Now, takeaway number 2. Like I told you guys before, the light at the end of the tunnel. The light at the end of the tunnel. Here's the thing, guys. Auburn is starting to catch up with recruiting. It just didn't show up tonight. Did you see Tank Bigsby? Did you see Kobe Hudson? Did you see some of the guys that we've picked up? It's just, you got to let this thing play out. Auburn is playing against a Georgia team that probably, can at this point in Kirby Smart's tenure could play for a national championship every year. Kevin Steele's defense looked absolutely horrible. They did. I'm gonna let some of these comments roll through because y'all are. I knew how this thing was gonna go, and we were on a high last week, and that's why I picked Auburn to lose this week because I knew the reality, guys. I knew the reality. I love my Auburn Tigers, but I got to be real about this. Auburn has to continue to recruit better, especially along the trenches. The defense really didn't give these guys a chance. Absolutely. Not necessarily recruiting 3, 4, 5 stars. Oh, damn. Oh, but better coaching evaluation for recruiting, like I said, and recruit in 20s. I swear to God, if I would have bet on the game, I would have really went off on you guys. And no, it's not your fault when you pay a coach like you all are really, 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 really tripping tonight. If you think Auburn is going to lose to Arkansas next week, come on, y'all. Okay. What I want the Auburn fans to do is say, look, give yourself a woo-saw moment. Okay, woo-saw moment, and let's woo just breathe a little bit. Breathe a little bit because we are not at all where you think we are. Auburn is in a good place. They have recruited well, but not well enough to play bad and beat a team like Georgia. I mean, it is what it is. Nope. Who is this LJ Morsat? What's up, man? Auburn will absolutely not go 5-5. They won't go 5-5. You lose. Okay, you beat Kentucky. We didn't play well against Kentucky. All of a sudden, we beat Kentucky. Now we're like national championship contenders. You know, but then you go against a team like Georgia, who is recruited well. And see, the bad part about it is Georgia really didn't even play well. These guys have just recruited well. And when you recruit well, it gives you an opportunity to win big football games. No, here's what's going to happen. All these 6-4s and 7-3 and all these other people, Joshua Simmons has got to be a Georgia fan. Got to be. Auburn is not a sad program. No, Marquise Harris, no, we're not garbage. Georgia's just a good football team. Just face it. They've recruited well. You're not going to be, this shit adds up after a while. You're not going to be number 3 recruiting class, number 2, number 4, number 3, number 2, number 4. You're not going to be that and not be a good football team. Come on, guys. Let's be educated about this. You know, and Gus is not going to recruit well, so wake up. Okay. Auburn fans, boy, I swear. But anyway, I can see kind of where the game was headed. No, Bo Nix did not play horrible. Marquise Ricks, stop it. He did not play horrible. Stop it. So, with this particular football game, Georgia is a very talented team. They're very deep. They can beat anybody with a 4th string quarterback that knows how to read defenses just a little bit, that can run the football. But Auburn has to continue in the trend that they're going in good recruiting. Auburn has recruited well over the last couple of years. And what a lot of folks don't take a lot of stock in is the fact that it takes time to develop these things. Okay. All right. So let's look at some of these comments. We had how many points again? We had 6. How many points did Georgia have in the second half? How many did they have in the first? 24. How many did they have in the second half? 3. Right. I mean, did you want to lose by 50 points tonight? Nolan Shaw, I'm very disappointed in that comment. Very disappointed, but we're going to keep going. All right, so the next thing is, we talk about the takeaways from this particular football game. I think, with no spring, Mike McKinney kind of stole this thing. With no spring football, with no, all this other stuff going on. I think considering that Auburn played one of the best teams in the country early in the season, got off to a bad start. I think the defense really put Auburn in an adverse position. But I really like the resiliency of Auburn, especially considering losing. No, who is that? Hugh Vanlin, we need a quarterback coach. What are you talking about? You need an offensive line. You don't need a quarterback coach. You need an offensive line. OFF. ENSIVE. You need a new offensive line. You need an offensive line. No, Joey Gatewood should not have been the QB because Joey Gatewood would have been running for his life. I don't give a shit about Kirby's letting off the gas. He shouldn't have. If he did, he shouldn't have. So here's the thing. I just want the Auburn fans. Nope, Gatewood isn't the answer. Better recruiting on the offensive line is the answer. If Bo Nix is smart, he's catching the first team out of Auburn, even if he has to go sit out for you. Yes, we need a better offensive line. A better offensive line. And maybe they will get better as the year goes on. You know? But it's y'all's fault though. You all fell for the stuff after the Kentucky game. We needed at least 2 or 3 games in before we were ready to play a team like Georgia. But no, y'all were like, oh man, Georgia had a bad quarterback. And no, Georgia has recruited well for the last 5 years. So it is what it is. Now, here's some of my takeaways as well. Bo Nix actually played a pretty good football game. Bo Nix did all he could to keep Auburn in the football game. He was running for his life the entire game. He even had a better pocket presence against a better defensive line in this game. But hey, who am I? I just talk shit about Auburn, you know. Not me. I knew we wasn't beating Georgia with Gus as a coach. 2-7. Dwayne Phillips, you need to stop it. These guys will not go 2-7. I'm still a Chad Morris and a Gus Malzahn fan. But when you playing against the best defense in the country, you get what you get. These guys are good. I told y'all they were good. And y'all were bashing me when I said Morris didn't abandon the run in the first quarter. The defense didn't give him a shot. Come on, Bryant Harris. Let's be more educated about this. You know, Wolf Productions, this is what I think about play calling. Play calling is all about what you're presented with. And for 2 weeks in a row, Auburn has not been presented with an opportunity to where we even know what the play calling will be about. Because the time of possession hasn't been on our side because of, guess what? You all's holier than thou defense. Right? Let's see if Auburn can play some defense this week. That's what we need. We need Auburn to play some defense this week. To play some defense. For once, Auburn has been off balance on defense. So, I'll tell you what. Just for the sake of keeping myself in balance and not being just overly disappointed in the Auburn fan base. King Tizzle, what's up, man? Definitely need an offensive line. Man, the offensive line would have worked wonders tonight. No offensive line. Bo Nix running for his life. Tank Bigsby can't find a hole. Woo! It was just kind of shaky. All right, guys. This is my time here. Auburn takes their first loss of the year. 27-6 to their rival, Georgia, continuing the trend of losing in Athens. I absolutely love all of you all. We will continue the videos tomorrow, and we will continue the videos tomorrow. Got Arkansas coming up next week. Michael Nelson said, love the show, bro. I think, we will get better, man. This game went, especially how I saw it was beginning. I was like, oh man, we're in deep shit. We're in deep shit. We can't move the ball. Defense is giving up like 7 yards on first down. No way we're going to win this game. What? Crimson Break? Hey, sub into the channel. That's what I'm talking about, man. Appreciate you. I can't really say roll tide, but it's, it's not, I don't hate Alabama. They continue to be successful. Auburn is not well coached. Whew. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. So Danny Blackman says it's great to be a dog. I mean, hell, it should be. You all get like what you got, like 25-star recruits on the team. You can beat anybody. You can probably beat a couple of NFL teams. But anyway, man, I love you guys. I love doing this show for you all. Your fans kind of disappoint me at times, but it is what it is. I understand. I totally understand. But don't give up on your Tigers just yet. These guys are good. These guys just have to continue to develop. They are not in a position to where they can reload yet. I think Shivers had a little bit of an injury, but the Auburn Tigers will be back. Don't be surprised if there's a stretch in wins that leads all the way up to the Alabama game, and you all are going to be on that 2017 stuff. So Joshua Simmons says it's great to be a dog, and I can understand why. All right, guys, this is my time here. Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Just a post-game recap of the Auburn versus Georgia game. Auburn loses this game 27-6. I picked Auburn to lose 24-21, so I was kind of sort of not close. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger. War damn Eagle.